This is a 2019 Mazda CX-5, last year's second best-selling Mazda product, behind only the Mazda 3, by only a few hundred units. Next year's battle is going to be interesting between the new Mazda 3 and the CX-5. Anyhow, well, what's more important than that actually is the fact that it was one of the best-selling crossovers, all categories combined, in Canada last year. Base price for a base front-wheel drive CX-5 is $27,850, right smack in the middle of its competition. At the very other end of the spectrum is this model, the Signature, which retails for only, and I do put emphasis on only, $40,950. What do you get for that price? Well, aesthetically, pretty much the same, with a few exceptions. These are unique to the Signature 19-inch wheels. You get LED lights front and back, inside. There's a funky thing going on the inside or under the bonnet. I'll tell you a little bit more about that shortly, as well as some glorious Napa leather seats, which I will show you very shortly. I think I just locked it. There we go. Power hatch that's included in a few trims down, which reveals very large trunk, 875 very usable liters. Good depth here, good width, good height. Perfect for the stroller or a trip to Costco. Now on the inside, you're getting a hint of that right there. Isn't that pretty? All right, so it's perfectly set up for family duty. 2 baby seats, plenty of room. Not quite for another individual in the middle, but still, for a family of 4, this is brilliant. And here it is, my friends. Look at that. Beautiful. This is like the cocoa brown color. Oh, it is fantastic. Multi-way adjustable, including power lumbar with memory function. And the texture, the thickness, look how supple that is. It's beautiful. Yes, I'm losing my mind over leather. All right, let's start her up. Notice anything? If you know anything about the engines, they're typically fairly loud upon startup. This, not so much. There are your gauges. Nice little screen here, configurable. There's another screen. It's waking up. There we go. Satellite radio. That's part of the features. This thing has absolutely everything. Included navigation, Apple CarPlay. And that's your command center, if you will, with all your little buttons to control the screen up there. Very logically laid out HVAC controls, and oh yes, heated steering wheel. However, it only heats from this stitch to that stitch, which I find kind of cheap, but hey, it's still heated anyhow. That's pretty much it. I mean, everything is lovely. The way it's put together, the craftsmanship. Storage is decent. My sole complaint here is that the armrest, this thing, does not slide fore and aft. So supporting your elbow, you really got to sit back and you can't reach the steering wheel. At least I can't. Anyhow, I'm complicated. I'm some kind of freak. That's it. It's just a Mazda CX-5, and I think that is the most beautiful thing about the Signature. And the thing I was saying, under the bonnet in front there is a turbocharged engine. You may have heard of those things. Let's get out there and I'll tell you a little bit more about why I was excited to drive this thing. Now, I had been looking forward to test driving the CX-5, the 2.5 turbo, for a long while, for a number of reasons too. The principal being the CX-9, which has this engine, introduced this engine, manages performance that are borderline voodoo, right? And the Mazda 6 with 2.5T is lots of fun. And I've driven 2 Jeeps with FCA's 2-liter turbo engine, the Wrangler and the Cherokee. And the Cherokee felt like a rocket. I, in my mind, was thinking that 310 pound-feet of torque, that's right, that's what the 2.5T puts out as of 2,000 RPM, was going to transform the CX-5 into an equally potent rocket. Not quite. Not exactly. I think mostly because the power delivery is so linear. The torque curve is beautifully controlled. The Cherokee is more peaky and punchy. you are moving at a serious clip. I mean, I'm in normal drive mode and it picks up nicely. And there's even a hint when you go full into the throttle, a little hint of torque steer, which is fantastic as far as I'm concerned. It's not intrusive. You just feel like a slight tug on the steering wheel. You know, the CX-5 telling you, oh, you've got a lot of power. You better handle yourself properly. Speaking of power, it's got 227 horsepower on 87 octane, 250 on 93 octane. Do not bother spending the money. I promise you, you will not feel the difference. And that's probably key in a sense, because the CX-5 with the turbo doesn't feel any different than the regular run-of-the-mill CX-5. So that means it's got the same dynamic handling capabilities, a little bit more, you know, a little bit more dynamic than comfort, but overall it's very, very nice. It has the same steering. It's kind of got a little bit of a rubbery thing going on right on the on-center, but excuse me, the majority of crossovers in the segment have more or less the same steering feel. Lovely brakes. And you tack on to that, you know, the great spacious cabin, large boot, just overall general comfort and refinement that you can now expect from Mazda. And at just under $41,000, this Signature with the Napa leather seats, so beautiful, is like your bargain luxury crossover. There are a few other options in the segment. You can read about that in my review on Motor Illustrated, sorry. But I really, really like this thing. Would I spend the extra $2,000 if I was shopping at GT to get the 2.5T? Yeah, it's only about a 10% penalty fuel consumption wise. In my mind, that is not a penalty. Yeah, this is a lovely vehicle. Always has been, in fact, the CX-5, and I think always will be.